morning, students. Welcome back to Geography online class. So, students, do you know which lesson we are going to learn today? Already I have taught Geography lesson 6, Man and Environment, isn't it? And I have given few question answer also. I am thinking so you have learned. So, please study the answers thoroughly. Okay. So, today remaining portion I will teach. In this lesson 6, Man and Environment, once we can recall this lesson, what we have learned already about the introduction of man and environment. Environ is derived from the French word, isn't it? That means surrounded or encircled. Man and environment. About that, and classification of environment. What are the classification of environment? Natural environment, human environment, and man-made environment, isn't it? Next, what we learn about population also, and about the census and the distribution of population also. What are the population distribution refers in three ways. What are the three things? Physical factor, historical factor, and economic factors. And also one important question we have learned, isn't it? What do you mean by Black Death? Do you learn? Okay, yes. The Black Death is estimated to have killed 30 to 60% of Europe's total population during the 14th century. The dominant explanation for Black Death is attributed to the outbreak of plague. Then next, what we learn? Next, about the density of population. How we can calculate the population density? That is the total population by total land area. There are also high density, moderate density, and low density we have learned, isn't it? So today we can learn about human settlement and economic activities. Okay, so listen carefully. Today, Geography lesson 6, Man and Environment, we can learn about human settlement and economic activities. Okay, human settlement. What do you know about human settlement? In earlier lower class you have learned, isn't it, where this human being has settled. They are not having any proper place to live. Mostly the early mans, they live on the tree branches, caves, pit, even rock cuts. There only they have lived. Now in modern days only people have built many storage of houses, isn't it? So a settlement can be described as any temporary or permanent unit area where people live, work, and lead an organized life. It may be a city or town or village, okay, or other agglomeration of buildings. What is the meaning for agglomeration? Means that is the many storage of buildings are there. So during the early days, man preferred tree, branches, caves, pits, or even rock cut as his shelter. Isn't it? You all learned in the lower class also, isn't it? We know that. But as days passed by, man slowly learned the art of domesticating animals and cultivating food crops. The evolution of farming took place along four major river basins: the Nile, Indus, Navajo, and Euphrates and Tigris. Man built huts and mud houses also. Slowly, settlement came into existence. A settlement generally consisted of a cluster of houses, places of worship, and a place of burial also. Later, small settlement developed into villages. Several villages together formed a town. Next, bigger towns developed into cities. So, settlements are formed in different shapes, size, and locations. So, listen carefully. At first, small settlement developed into villages. So, several villages together form town. Next, bigger town developed into cities. And settlements are formed in different shapes, size, and locations also. Okay. Next one, classification of settlement. What are the classification of settlement? There are two types of settlement, rural settlement and urban settlement. What are the two types of settlement? Settlement is on the basis of occupation. Settlement may be classified as rural and urban settlement. Do you know what you meant by rural? Okay, what is the meaning for rural? Rural means it is a village. Okay, urban, the city. So any settlement where most of the people are engaged in primary activities. What are the primary activities? Agriculture, fishing, forestry, mining, lumbering, etc. This is known as rural settlement. Most of the world settlement are rural. They are mostly stable and permanent. So mostly these rural people are stable and permanent. The most important and unique features of rural settlement is the vast open space with a green pollution free environment also. So classification of human settlement is divided into two. What are the two types? Rural settlement and urban settlement. What do you know about this rural settlement? It is a settlement where people has engaged in primary activities. What are the primary activities? Agriculture, forestry, fishing, mining, lumbering, etc. is known as rural settlement. Most of the world settlement are rural. They are mostly stable and permanent also. The most important and unique features of rural settlement is the vast open space with green pollution, free environment, etc. Next heading is the patterns of rural settlement. Here, rural settlement are of different pattern. Here 7 patterns are there. First one, rectangular pattern. Please listen. There is one detailed question also. Roman number 7, second question. Explain about the patterns of rural settlement. So, this different 7 patterns we want to draw and explain. So, first one, rectangular pattern, linear pattern, circular or semicircular pattern, star-like pattern, triangular pattern, T-shaped, Y-shaped, cross-shaped or cruciform settlement, and last one is the nebular pattern. So, one by one about that we can see that. First one, rectangular pattern. What do you mean by rectangular? All the 4 sides are, both the length and the breadth, isn't it? Rectangular. It is in rectangular pattern. Rectangular pattern settlement are found in plain areas or valleys. Where we can see this rectangular, you all know the shape of the rectangle, isn't it? Square means all the 4 sides are equal. Rectangle, 2 sides are equal. Opposite sides, 2 sides are equal. So length into breadth, isn't it? So rectangular pattern of settlements are found in plain areas or valleys. So the roads are rectangular and cut each other at right angle. That is the known as rectangular pattern. Where we can see this rectangular pattern, it is found mostly in plain areas or valleys. The roads, how the roads are arranged means they cut each other at right angle. Okay, here are only 2 important points. What are that? Rectangular pattern of settlement means where it was found means in plain areas. What was the road or rectangular? How the road was arranged means it is rectangular in shape and cut each other at right angles. Okay. Next one, linear pattern. What do you know about this linear pattern? In a linear pattern, the houses are located along a road, railway line and along the edge of the river valley or along a lea. What do you mean by lea? Near the dam. Okay. So, linear pattern. What do you know about this linear pattern of rural settlement? In a linear pattern, the houses, the people, they build their houses along a roadside or near the railway line or along the edge of the river valley or near the dam. Okay, that places only they will build the houses. Next, third one is the circular or semicircular pattern. circular or semicircular pattern. This pattern of settlement that is found around the lakes, ponds and sea coast are called circular or semicircular pattern. So mostly where they will build the house means near the lakes or pond or sea coast are called circular or semicircular pattern. Next, fourth one is the star-like pattern. Where they will build the house, it will be like the star-like, isn't it? Where they build means star-shaped settlement developed in places where metalled and unmetalled road coverage. Near the road, some roads are covered by the metal and unmetal, some non-metal, isn't it? That places they will build. In the star-shaped settlement, houses are spread out along the side of road in all directions. It will be like a star shape. Okay. Next one is the, so already I learned rectangular pattern, linear pattern, circular or semicircular pattern, star-like pattern, and next one, triangular pattern. What do you know about this triangular pattern? From this picture itself, you can understand it is in triangle shape. The triangular pattern of rural settlement generally developed at the confluence of rivers. Where they will be, it will be near the rivers. Next pattern is the T-shaped, Y-shaped, cross-shaped or cruciform settlement. So T-shaped settlement developed at tri-junction of the road. Okay, where the three roads met, that place, near that place they will build their house and they will settle. While a Y-shaped settlement emerged as the place where two roads converged with the third one. That is a Y-shape. Cruciform settlement. So cruciform settlement developed on the crossroad which extend in all four directions. Okay. Cruciform settlement which extend in all four directions. What is another name for this cruciform? Cross shape. Cruciform or cross shaped. Okay, so T shape, Y shape and cross shape. What is another name for cross shape? Cruciform settlement. So T shape means what? At a tri-junction of the road, the settlement will be there. Y shaped means when two roads converge with the third one. Cruciform settlement means it will be developed on the crossroad which extend in all four directions. Okay. Next one is the nebular pattern. What do you mean by nebular pattern? The arrangement of road is almost circular with which end at the central location or nucleus of the settlement around the house of many landlord of the village or around a mosque, temple or church. So mostly nebular pattern, the houses will be arranged around a mosque or around a temple or around a church. Who will be settled? Mostly many of the landlord. Landlord means big rich people. Okay. So this arrangement of road is almost circular which end at the central location or nucleus of the settlement around the houses of the main landlord of the village or around a mosque, temple or church. Do you understand? So how many patterns of settlement? 7 patterns. What are they? Rectangular pattern, linear pattern, circular or semicircular pattern, star-like pattern, triangular pattern, T-shaped, Y-shaped, cross-shaped or cruciform settlement, and last one is the nebular pattern. These are the rural settlement. Next one, we are going to learn about the urban settlement. What do you know about this urban settlement? Urban means what? It is a city or town. Urban is the term related to cities and towns where people are primarily engaged in non-agricultural activities. So in rural settlement, people are engaged in primary activities. In this urban settlement, people are engaged except primary, other activities they are engaged. Okay, secondary, tertiary and quaternary activities. So what do you know about this urban settlement? Urban is the term related to cities and towns that we all know, isn't it? So here, what type of activities the people are engaged in the urban settlement? Secondary, tertiary and quaternary activities. So, urban is the term related to cities and towns where people are primarily engaged in non-agricultural activities such as secondary, tertiary and quaternary activities. Okay, students. So, this is also one of the question. What do you know about this urban settlement? Urban is the term related to cities and towns where people are primarily engaged in non-agricultural activities. What are the non-agricultural activities? Secondary activity, tertiary activity and quaternary activity. So here the common characters, features of an urban unit is that they are compact, congested and liable to the large number of population. So what happen means here people, they will be compact, congested and liable to large number of population. What was the main characters, features of urban unit? They are compact, they are live together, isn't it? And liable to a large number of population. They comprise of mostly man-made structure that fulfill the requirement of the society's administrative, cultural, residential and religious functions. So the factor responsible for urbanization are better employment opportunity, suitable condition for business, education, transport, etc. So compared to rural settlement, urban settlement is the most important one. It is the important factors responsible for urbanization are better. We will get more better employment opportunity also. If you are getting more employment opportunity, what will happen? We will get a lot of money, isn't it? Then we can become as a rich person. And also for having the business also, it is one of the suitable place. Urban settlement is the suitable one. And for education also, for higher education also, we will get more facilities therein, and transport also. It is well used. So here, classification of urban settlement. Next one is the classification of urban settlement. So this urban settlement are classified as towns, cities, metropolitan cities, mega cities, conurbation, etc. So please listen. So classification of urban settlement. Urban settlement is classified as town, cities, metropolitan cities, mega cities, conurbations, etc. Okay. Depending on the size and services available and function rendered to it. How it was arranged means according to the size and service. So first one is the town. What do you know about a town? In Tamil we will say Nagaram, isn't it? A town is generally larger than a village but smaller than a city. From this picture also you can easily understand, isn't it? Isolated place, hamlet, small village, small town, large town, city, and conurbation. Okay. So what do you know about town? A town is generally larger than a village but smaller than a city. It has a population of less than 1 lakh. Example, Arakonam, that is in near Chennai. Next, second classification of urban settlement is the city. What do you know about the city? Cities are much larger than towns and had a great number of economic functions also. What we can see in the city, it is the, in Tamil we will say it is the Perunagaram. Okay. The population in cities are estimated to be more than 1 lakh. That is example Coimbatore. Next on metropolitan cities. What do you know about this metropolitan cities? That is the Mahanagarachi. Okay. Here cities accommodating population between 10 lakhs and 50 lakhs as metropolitan cities. So how much people will be there? 10 lakh and 50 lakh. Example Madurai. Next one is the mega cities. What do you know about this mega cities? Cities with more than 50 lakh population are called mega cities. Example Greater Chennai. Next, last one is the conurbation. Do you know about this conurbation? So, conurbation is a region comprising of a number of cities. So, many cities join together and form a conurbation. That is called as conurbation. Tamil will say Naharangalin Tohudi. Okay, a conurbation is a region comprising a number of cities, large towns, and other urban areas. These all together form a conurbation. Example, Delhi conurbation. Okay, next one. Next heading is the economic activities. What do you know about this economic activities? Economic activities are those effort or action that involve production, distribution, and consumption of commodities and services at all levels within a region. Okay, here what are the types of economic activities? There are 5 types of economic activities. What are the types of economic activities? Primary activities, secondary activities, tertiary activities, quaternary activities, and last one is the quaternary activities. Already in the 8th standard you have learned about this, isn't it? What are the types of economic activities? Okay, primary activities. So what do you know about this primary activity? Primary activities pertain to the extraction of raw material from the earth's surface. So for example, food gathering, hunting, lumbering, fishing, cattle rearing, mining and agriculture. So primary activity pertain to the extraction of raw material from the earth's surface. Okay, raw material. What is the meaning for raw material? Moolapur. Taking the raw material from the earth's surface. Food gathering, you all know, isn't it? Hunting, lumbering, cutting down trees, and fishing, cattle rearing, mining, and agriculture. Next one is the secondary activity. What do you know about the secondary activities? Secondary activities transform raw materials into finished goods. Okay. For example, iron and steel industry, automobile industry, and manufacturing industry, etc. So secondary activities means what? Transformation of raw materials into a finished product. That is called secondary activities. So where we can say this in iron and steel industry, automobile industry, and manufacturing sectors also we can see the secondary activities. Next, third one is the tertiary activities. What do you know about this tertiary activities? Activities which by themselves do not produce goods but support the process of production are called tertiary activities. What is called tertiary activities? Here they won't produce the goods themselves but with the help of others support the process of production are called tertiary activities. For example, transport, communication, banking, storage and trade. Okay, this is the tertiary activities. Fourth one is the quaternary activities. What is the know about this? This activities is related to research and development as well as knowledge. So it is called as quaternary activities. So these activities, where you can say means in the bank, schools, etc. So what do you know about this quaternary activity? It is the related to research and development as well as knowledge are called quaternary activities. For example, services like consultation, education and banking. Last one is the quaternary activities. What do you know about this quaternary activity? These activities that focus on the creation, rearrangement and interpretation of new and existing ideas are called quaternary activities. Mostly the businessman, policymakers, scientists, they will be doing it. They are called as the quaternary activities. It includes the highest level of decision making in a society or economy. Okay. What do you know about this quaternary activity? These activities that focus on the creation, rearrangement and interpretation of new and existing ideas are called quaternary activities. It includes the highest level of decision making in a society or economy. So example, senior business executives, scientists and policy makers in the government. Yes, Listen, I'll take page number 218. Page number 218. Roman number 6 and Roman number 7 I will mark and give. Okay. Roman number 6. Distinguish the following. Distinguish the following. First question, distinguish between birth rate and death rate. That one in the guide, those who are having guide, use that guide. Others, I will dictate, listen. The number of live birth per 1,000 child in a country during a year is called birth rate. Listen once again. The number of live birth per 1,000 child in a country during a year. That is called birth rate. Next, death rate. The number of death per 1,000 people in a country during a year. That is called death rate. Okay. Next, do you all copy down birth rate and death rate? Distinguish between birth rate and death rate. Once again, I am reading. The number of live birth per 1,000 child in a country during a year is called a birth rate, and the number of death per 1,000 people in a country during a year is called a death rate. Okay. Second question, rural settlement and urban settlement. That is page number 213 and 214. Distinguish between rural settlement and urban settlement. That is page number 213 and 214. Take page number 213 under the heading rural settlement. Any settlement where most of the people are engaged in primary activities like agriculture, forestry, mining and fishery is known as the rural settlement. Rural settlement, any settlement where most of the people are engaged in primary activities like agriculture, forestry, mining and fishery is known as rural settlement. And urban settlement, page number 214, under the heading urban settlement. Urban is the term related to cities and towns where people are primarily engaged in non-agricultural activities such as secondary, tertiary and quaternary activities. Okay, that's all. Next, distinguish between primary activities and secondary activities. That is page number 215. Page number 215. 215. Okay. Under the heading types of economic activities, the two paragraph, primary activity and secondary activities. Okay, that is Roman number 6, question number 3. The primary activities pertain to the extraction of raw materials from the earth's surface, for example, food gathering, hunting, lumbering, fishing, cattle rearing, mining and agriculture. Next, secondary activities transform raw materials into finished goods. For example, iron and steel industry, automobile industry, manufacturing industry, etc. That's all. Okay. Next, answer in a paragraph. Already I have given first question, isn't it? Second one, describe the patterns of rural settlement with a neat diagram. That is page number 213 and 214. 213 and 214. 213, under the heading patterns of rural settlement, there are 7 patterns, isn't it? That fully you want to write and you want to draw the picture. Okay. How many patterns are there? There are 7 patterns that you want to write and draw it. Okay. Here, first rectangular pattern, that para full, linear pattern also full, circular or semicircular pattern that also full, star-like pattern also full, triangular pattern also fully on to learn, then T-shaped, that also fully on to learn, cross-shaped Next, nebular pattern also full pattern. You have to learn up to mosque, temple or church. So this question for your homework, this question you study and write and see. Okay. Thank you, students.